Hello friends, and welcome to or back to my channel. My name's Haley, and today we're going to be talking about my August TBR. For those of you that know me, you know that I'm a huge mood reader, and making TBRs is typically not my thing. If I say that I'm gonna do something or that I have to read something, it makes it go automatically to the bottom of my list, and I am so much less likely to want to read whatever it is that I told myself I had to read. However, with that being said, I genuinely have so many books that I have to read in August, and so I thought I would go ahead and make an August TBR. I don't know if I will make TBRs monthly on this channel, but for now I am going to do one, and there are a couple reasons that I have so many books that I need to read. The first one being Summer Bingo. So I have been doing the Summer Reading Bingo Challenge from Beyond the Bookends on Instagram, and I'll put the board on the screen over here. And so this is a 5x5 grid, and each box has a prompt about a different type of book to read. And I did this for the first time last year, and I really enjoyed it. It really pushed me out of my comfort zone and made me pick up books that I wouldn't normally pick up. And so I was really enjoying this last year, and I tried to black out the board, but I didn't quite get there. And so this year I've been working extra hard to black out the board. And so as of right now, I still have about 8 prompts left. Right now, being when I'm filming this video, I'm thinking that by the time August starts, I'll only have 5 or 6 left. So I'm going to show you first the 5 books that I plan on reading to help black out my bingo board. Okay, so the first book that I'm going to be reading for this is Once There Were Wolves. This is going to be completing the prompt of a book set in Scotland. And so this book follows a girl and her sister who go to Scotland to work with a team of biologists to help them reintroduce gray wolves back into the wild. And from what I gathered, there's also a plot of a man being killed, and the people of Scotland are blaming the wolves, but the main girl is like, no, it wasn't my wolves. And so she's also trying to figure out how that happened. And it sounds like there also may be a small romance subplot. I've heard really great things about this. Like, so many people that I know have given this 5 stars, and it's a relatively short book, so I am looking forward to this one. And this again will be my book set in Scotland. The next book that I'll be picking up for my Summer Bingo Challenge is The Husbands by Holly Gramazio. This book is for the Celebrity Book Club pick, and this is a Read with Jenna pick. And so this book follows Lauren, and she comes home from a night out, and her husband is up waiting for her, which seems normal until you realize she doesn't have a husband. And then she sends her husband back up into the attic, and a different one comes down. And then she sends it back up, and another one comes down. And so Lauren is faced with this rotating door of husbands, and she kind of goes from there. I have started this one. As you can see my little bookmark, I've read about 40 pages, so I am planning on finishing this one. Again, this is for a Celebrity Book Club pick. The next book is The Kennedy Debutante, and this is for the biographical fiction pick. This was a challenging square for me, as I do like historical fiction, but a lot of the options that they suggested for biographical fiction were just not appealing to me. I read one earlier this year, and it was just kind of okay to me. I think I gave it 3 stars. It kind of dragged a little bit. This book was on the list, and this is a book I got last year in a blind date with a book that I bought from a bookstore, and I believe we're following the younger sister of JFK and kind of her time in Paris right around the start of World War II. I'm not really sure. The description is kind of confusing, and there's a lot of characters, but this is what I will be picking up. It does sound good, and I think I will like it. And again, this is for biographical fiction. The next book that I'm going to be reading is The Disappearance of Astrid Bricard, and this is by Natasha Lester, and this will be for a fashion book. And this book follows Astrid, and Astrid is a fashion queen in her own right. However, her mother worked with Christian Dior, and she would love to work with Christian Dior, but she feels kind of like she's in her mother's shadow. And then all of a sudden, Astrid goes missing. And so we follow her daughter then trying to pick up the pieces and figure out what happened to her mother, and did it involve her grandmother, and just trying to figure out what actually happened to Astrid. She's a little chunky, but I am looking forward to this one. And I have been looking for this one at the library, and my library didn't have digital or audiobook copies when I started looking. And I literally stumbled upon this at a thrift store for $6. So such a steal. Very excited for this one for my fashion book. The last book that I have for bingo is The House on the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune, and this is for a book with a color in the title. If you don't know, there is a second book coming out in September called Somewhere Beyond the Sea, and so I'm really looking forward to rereading this one to prepare myself to read the sequel. This book follows Linus. This is what it says. It says Linus is a by-the-book caseworker in the department in charge of magical youth. And so he's kind of has this quiet life, and he just is kind of going about doing his job. And then he gets sent to this house in the Cerulean Sea because the people that are above him kind of suspect something fishy is happening out here. And so he gets sent to investigate because he is very by the book, follows the rules. And then he goes out to the island, and we follow as he meets all the children and their caretaker. And yeah, this is a beautiful story, a found family story. I absolutely adored this book the first time I read it, so I can't wait to reread it and prepare for the sequel. And again, this is for the book with a color in the title prompt. The next set of books that I have to read are the books that I've gotten from NetGalley that come out in August. And so the first one is The Pairing by Casey McQuiston, and this comes out on August 6th. And this follows two exes who broke up on their flight to go to this food and wine tasting. And so they broke up and they've been living their own lives. But 3 years later, they both realize that time is running out to use the voucher to go on this food and wine tour that they originally canceled. And so they both separately use their voucher and book the food and wine tour. And of course, they end up on the same tour 3 years later that they were supposed to go on originally before they broke up. And so while they're on this tour, they decide that they're going to have a competition to see who can hook up with their hot tour guide and hook up with the most people to prove that they are over each other. And so this one sounds very, very fun. I'm very excited for this. I love all of Casey McQuiston's books. I mean, there's only two so far, but I love both of them. And so I'm really looking forward to this one. And I actually think I'm going to an author event later in the month where I will be able to meet Casey McQuiston. So that'll be super fun too. The next book that I have from NetGalley comes out on the 13th, and that is The Breakup Pact by Emma Lord. And this follows two friends, they're old friends, so two people that were friends in high school, and they both go through very public, humiliating breakups that go viral on TikTok and get on talk shows and stuff like that. And then the two of them are seen together, and the internet assumes that they are dating in the wake of their recent breakups. And so they decide to fake date to entertain the public and to help kind of get their lives back on track because they're both kind of struggling in life personally. So they make a little pact that they're going to fake date to entertain the people of the internet. This one sounds interesting for sure. I've read two Emma Lord books and I didn't love them. I believe this is more of an adult book though, so I'm interested to see how she will handle that, and hopefully I like this one. The last arc that I have for August is You're the Problem, It's You, which is the second book in the Mischief and Matchmaking series by Emma Albin. And this book originally caught my attention, this and the first one, because the titles are Taylor Swift lyrics, and this is a queer Victorian romance. And I really don't know too much other than that, but I am looking forward to this one, and I would love to read the first one before I read this one. I think they're more like interconnected standalones, so it will be fine if I don't read the first one, but I would love to read the first one, which is Don't Want You Like a Best Friend. I would love to read that one this month as well, but obviously I already have a lot of books that I've committed to, and so I'm not sure that I'll have time for that. So those are all of the arcs that I will be reading. And then another thing that I would like to do this month is I would like to make a baseball reading vlog, and so I have picked up 3 baseball romances that have come out this year that I would like to read for that vlog. The first one that I picked up is Stealing Home by Grace Riley, and this is about Sebastian and Mia, and Sebastian and Mia are exes, and Sebastian is in his last season before his MLB draft, and Mia wants to study abroad, but then her plans fall through. Mia ends up meeting a roommate, and so she ends up living with Sebastian, and obviously they're going to rehash their romance and see where things went wrong and hopefully end up together. This one sounds fun. I know that this author has a couple of other sports romance books. I haven't read any of those, but maybe I'll read them in future vlogs or something like that. But this is the first one. The next one is The Art of Catching Feelings by Alicia Thompson. And this book follows Daphne, who isn't really a baseball girly, but after her divorce, she's just feeling very low and very down on herself, and so she goes to a baseball game, gets a little drunk, and then she heckles one of the players on the team, and it kind of seems to make him very upset. And so after the game, she DMs him on Instagram to kind of apologize for her actions, but what she forgets to mention is that she is the one that was heckling him. And they end up striking up a conversation and eventually a relationship, but this baseball player does not know that she is the one who was heckling him, and she has to get the truth out there at some point in time. This one sounds really fun. I am excited about this one. I love the cover art, and it's just so baseball, and so I am really excited for this one. And then the last one is Playing for Keeps by Jennifer Dugan, and this is a female romance. And so one of our main characters is a pitcher and the other one is an umpire, and after this umpire throws this pitcher out of the game, they have some tension and they have some bad blood going, but they eventually start to bond and strike up a friendship, and then it turns into a relationship. So this one sounds really fun too. One of the other books that I have to read in August is going to be The Summer of '69 by Ellen Hilderbrand. This is our book club pick for this month. This one follows 4 siblings, and they're kind of all dealing with their own shit, but then something brings them back together, and then they go back to the beach house where they went growing up, and they work out all of their problems, I believe. I just remembered that there is another book for Bingo that is coming out in August, and that is Dark Restraint by Katie Robert. This is the 7th book in the Neon Gods series. I don't know how I could forget this. I've been so excited for it. I think I just forgot because I had all the other ones physically, but this comes out on August 6th as well as some of the other books, and I'm looking forward to this one. I did request an audio arc of this like 2 days ago, so hopefully I get it, but I will be reading this as well, and this will be filling the urban fantasy prompt, so couldn't leave that out. With that being said, those are all of the books I hope to get to in August, and I guess if you stick around, you'll find out if I did that or not. Thank you so much for being here. Please subscribe to my channel and like and comment on this video if there's any of these books that you've loved or not loved maybe, and just let me know what you guys plan to read in August. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, love you!